Want to find out how this half of the month is panning out for your zodiac sign and how to get the best out of it? Come and join YILDIZ Readings 5D and we'll have a look. A very warm welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover astrology, soul coaching, twin flame path and more. I am live weekly, so please click the bell and subscribe. And if you do want more creative content like this, come and join the tribe. Additionally, we have the members zone, so if you do want the creative content early and have a coaching room, we do have the join button. For all booking information, the link is directly below. Without further ado, let's get into the update for your zodiac sign for your bi-monthly report. For all the dates, retrogrades and aspects occurring, as well as the great days and the difficult days, I have created a report after this update for your zodiac sign and it is incorporated inside. You can stream forward now or let's jump into your update. Hi beautiful Sagittarius, let's have a look at your romance house for singles, couples, twin flames. Yes, we cover twin flame path here at YILDIZ Readings 5D. As well as your career sector, your finances, your health and your emotional report. And then towards the end of the video, we have the key important dates, and that's both the good, the bad and the ugly. So sit back and relax. Let's have a look at the area of love and how to navigate the matrix of this bi-monthly energy. Sagittarius, your love domain is said to be super interesting this month. Now we did have Juno retrograde last month and it was occurring in the house of Sagittarius. You may be feeling very unique in the element of love this month. You also may be really quite emotional in vibration and really feeling like you're really working extremely hard. So pay attention to your health, pay attention to your emotions, especially if you were holding on to some beliefs. So I do feel during this time it can be a little bit testing, but you may find moving into mid-month it may be a little bit easier. I do feel a lot of you are reflecting about how you feel in relation to connections and you're not looking at it from a one-sided transaction. Well, I think initially you potentially may have been. It's how do they feel? This now is more from both polarities, and I do feel this is a renegotiation of terms. This can be a very positive thing, but it also be a time where you may have been looking at healthy boundaries and really the art of communication, how we can express the way we love in a healthy fashion. You may have most recently felt a lot more private than usual, and it is due to the fact that we had the full moon in Scorpio. So if you had war wounds or you felt embarrassed or angry or upset in relation to any area, whatever was hidden in that vault, I do feel during this time it can be really revealed. You will really need to trust an individual to be able to articulate how you're feeling. And spiritually, really the self-worth energy and beliefs, you can be really outgrowing old, outdated beliefs. And I do feel many of you are expressing how you're feeling in relation to your daily routine, your responsibilities, and what your hopes and dreams are. If you aren't currently in the connection, I do feel many of you during this time can have communication with people from the past. And this also can be a time of transformation and assessing all connections. So be it you're coupled or single, do expect communication from people from the past during this time. If these things were unresolved, they may cause complication. There also could be jealousy that arises during this month for your zodiac sign and circulating energies, and be very cautious of gossip. This can be a great time to clear the air in a healthy way, but do bear in mind that we do have Mars in Cancer and we can be bringing up things from the past. I also feel a lot of you are really wanting to have that deeper connection, but in healing the past is where we can allow people in. And again, it may be value systems relating to mother and father, potentially expectancies, health, stability in home and what it means. And I do feel you guys are putting a lot of pressure on yourselves. We are more than money. You know, you're so much more than such, and they can be old, outdated ways. And a lot of times times when we're wanting to manifest these things, we're far better off to disconnect from it and allow it to naturally come. I do see a huge renegotiating here, and especially if you have been super unhappy in this connection, I do feel during this time, if you feel the give and take and intimacy isn't there, you can start to see cracks in the pavement. Now, that doesn't mean connections are doomed to fail, but yes, this can be for the next few months. We are having testing times in a sense of re-establishing the boundaries, the values, and how we see things and wish to bind together. Very separately, I would say that as we move out of this month, it can be a bit clearer and we can be a little bit better with our communication. It's only because at the moment we have Mars in Cancer, which is in its detriment. So emotionally speaking, we can be a little bit flighty and we're going to be more understanding towards mid-month. So just bear that in mind, but most definitely movement and changes, and you could also have communication in the area of love. Let's have a look at the home zone for home and family, and this will especially be relevant to those of you really coupled and singled. Okay, Sagittarius, let's have a look at your home zone and your family and things that potentially can be playing out. Now, emotionally, a lot of the Scorpio moon may have brought about a lot of psychic development. Also, it can link to people that are passed over. So if you had been thinking about loved ones, if you had been thinking about such, you may find a lot of times they reconnect with you through your memory system. If you do want help in that area, I can help you with that. So come through, book a reading, or join the super chats. I do feel many of you are wishing to communicate more with family, but this can be more at a level of the past. It also can be really valuing those things and putting more energy into your connections. This can be also the female energies in your life, be it siblings, be it sisters and females. It may be really connecting in with people at a like-minded energy. We do need to be super careful not to push those energies away due to wounds of the past, and really opening up to allowing individuals to love us. Doesn't mean to say that family may not be triggered this month, and that is, as I mentioned, we have Mars in Cancer, so yes, we may be a little bit emotional in nature. Now, these things can be healthy things if we have healthy ways to deal with them. If you had potentially been having issues relating to healthy boundaries and emotions, it may come up in your health area. Now, I do feel many of you are also looking at your well-being and ways you can change this, and it's quite important to do such. Many of you at a separate level may be looking at the bigger picture of your future, and there can be an expansion, and this may be really expanding beyond maybe outgrowing a home and looking at some of the plans you're wanting in your daily routine and where you want to be. Now, this potentially in a more stable foundation will play out in 2022 because we do have a small window at the moment to view what that will look like. These themes can be playing out due to the fact that we have Jupiter in Pisces. So home-related dynamics, your daily routine, if you're wanting to purchase a home or move abroad, all these themes can be coming up, but you will be looking at the reality of what you would need to do and the psychology surrounding home. Psychologically speaking, you also may have a heightened experience when it comes to these emotions, so bear that in mind, especially when tension is expanded due to unhealthy boundaries. So don't overburden yourself this month, Sag. If things are coming up, really great time to, journal down what those things are, addressing it, addressing the elephant in the room so it doesn't affect other facets of life. Let's have a look at the area of career and then onto your finances. Okay, you guys may have a lot to do in the first 2 weeks, and this can be a busy time. This also can be an emotional time and when I say emotional, it doesn't have to be bad. It can just feel everything's coming at Sag. So, number 1, don't take it personal. Number 2, yes, you can be super busy. It's also don't second guess yourself. This is a brand new way you're being inside of life, And yes, you can really be networking, but you can be looking at your past tense connections. This can be really looking back to your previous employment, really looking at your current employment and wondering how to change things about. Some of you may be feeling a little bit tested. Is it stable? Will it stand the test of time? And it really can be a time for you to gain that self-esteem and take the ball by the hands and tackle any unfinished business. I do feel if you are looking for a job, really now is the time to put those resumes out. There can be a little bit more of a delay when we do come to mid-month, but it also still can be super positive, and it can be a busier time in your career sector during mid-month. Short distance travel, a lot of communication, a lot of things that you'll be tackling, which you're really great at. And this is where the proof will be in the pudding. I do feel even spiritually, if you've had to really assist with individuals in the work sector to be able to do tasks and you're doing their job, it's really a time to create that balance and to make each individual responsible for what they need to do. This is especially relevant due to the fact that you do have Virgo in your 10th house, which does mean you're an overachiever, Sag, and it does mean that you do need to, in your employment style, is yes, okay, you can be really great at what you do, but it's also don't do everyone's job. Otherwise, it can make that future tense more burdensome. Now, I do feel if you're in management or anything to that degree, you may be assessing where you're at, getting on top of things, but this can be a really positive time. But it can be a little bit of a very, very busy time as well. Some of you may find that you're working yourself to death and you know, it's really affecting your health. So eating healthy, eating food groups that support your nervous system, especially if you're working on the run, you know, it can be problematic if you're not looking after your auric system. I do feel some of you may be, and we will get into that in the financial sector of this, but it's more the monetary aspect, where it's coming in, where it's going out. You may be indulging yourself this month, so just pay attention to that. But overall, I do see work being super busy. This especially can have a lot of things dealing with signing of contracts linking with home. Without further ado, into the finances, as I previously mentioned. Where is the money at? Let's have a look for your chart, Sag, and see how things are shaping up. Now, number two, I do feel some of you can really be looking at what you can and can't depend on. Now, this can be insurance premiums, it can be paperwork, and I'm really seeing it more relating to home, what you've got at your disposition for you to move forward. And I do feel a lot of you may even be opening up a savings account. This can be right for the bigger picture. What do I need to do? So I do see that playing out for you. And I do feel a lot of you, from an importance factor, are trying to keep good and reconnecting in with individuals from the past for that security system. Very separately, from a financial point of view, I do see a lot of you having to pay things back, and it's also through, it can be through guilt, it can be through emotional eating, and it also can be with luxury items, maybe spending a little bit too much on the luxury and then really regretting it after. So if emotions are coming up and you are exuberantly spending in excess with things that potentially you feel you just don't need, keep the receipts, sit with it. You know, what I always tend to do is sit with it for a while and really meditate upon it. Sometimes I view it online, sometimes I may go to the store and actually view it, and then just sit with it for a little bit and then weigh up the pros and cons of the value. We can be more guided towards spending on expensive things at this point. And there is an element of guilt there for some of you. But I do feel you may be spending money on health and diet and nutrition, but initially you may find that you could potentially be spending on eating on the run as well. Now, they always say never go to the supermarket, on an empty belly, and I have always said such. So I tend to take a drink with me so that if I am going anywhere, I'm full, and especially with the placement, you can find dehydration can come up. So making sure that you're actually keeping hydrated and looking after yourself, and money manifestation then becomes more fluid. I do see many of you looking at the bigger picture, and there can be big ticket items that you're really wanting to get for the home. This can more be a time when you could be expanding things and getting bigger items for home. And they can be absolutely dream items. Just make sure if you are going to do exuberant spendings, you do it in the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, wait till next month. And that, I would say, is more from a delay point of view of don't, you can still buy, you can still spend, especially if it's something you would well and truly already wanted for a very long time. Just keep your receipts and understand that there can be delays with deliveries. Now, separately, we can, with the 2 houses I'm going to mention, which is the 6th and the 12th house, we may be doing things to cope with stress. And this can be to make ourselves feel better. And we call this the Band-Aid effect. It can be codependency. But this can be caffeine, it can be alcohol, you name it. It can be anything to that degree. If it is coming up and it's affecting your health, really looking at healthier ways we can deal with the emotion and the stress levels to get the best out of our auric field. We will go into the emotional energy and health and well-being next up. Okay, for your health, Sagittarius. Now, I would say getting things done can be a little bit more challenging. I do feel for some of you, you may have the world on your shoulders. I also feel stress levels and unhealthy boundaries. Maybe too much of a good thing can be taking a little bit of a toll, but this can be a really good time to actually level up and do things to shift it about. This also, from a feminine point of view, can be a great time for fem checks, and it also can be for the health and the well-being. And when we talk about diet, it doesn't have to be I want to look like a supermodel. It's the vitality, it's the nutrients, it's the things that our body requires as fuel to cope with its daily chores. Now, I do feel a lot of you will have a lot on your plate, and you can have a lot of throat chakra coming up. You may find you're having to repeat yourself. You may find you have a lot on your plate that you're dealing with. Your day-to-day routine for individuals that you're connected to, as well as your employment, can run you ragged. So by the end of the day, it is a good space to actually block out any white noise. I would actually recommend, to get the stress off you, is to document things down. Better out than in. And when we do build these things up in our mind and we are multitasking, we can actually find that our mind can become too busy. So to quieten it, especially because you have Scorpio on the 12th, it's important to get them out of the body so that you can be rested and reassess them the next day, or allocate time so that you can, address them, give permission to it for a little bit, and then you can have that rest time as well. Now, emotionally, if you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself to get everything done today and you want, Rome to be built in 24 hours, yes, this can be a little bit tense. You may take things during this month personally, especially because we have Juno retrograde in your zodiac sign and we're having the eclipse in your zodiac sign this month, okay? Mercury also will go retrograde in your relationship sector, which is all things connections. This will really shape you, Sag. So please have faith in yourself. It's not there to annihilate you. It's there to show you what you're made of. And you can do this. Just be gentle with yourself. Take time to rest. Try not to conquer the world in 24 hours. And this too shall pass. On to your emotions via the moon with the chakra report. Okay, beautiful Sag. From the 1st to the 4th, we can have a lot happening both in the house of Capricorn and Aquarius. We've got the moon transiting Capricorn for the first 2 days. Your self-esteem and your nerves could be tested. You also could feel that you want to create some sense of balance and stability. And if you feel you can't do such right away, go back to your resources, and definitely if you're getting triggered, you may start to get lower back pains and things to that degree. This can be, aches in the lower back and the ovaries. Usually it's to do with safety, stability, and structure. So I would strongly advise balancing the base chakra. You'll get things coming up in a pain body. You also can feel a little bit agitated in those areas if it's not in charge. If it's really balanced, it will feel light and fine. We're also between the 3rd and the 4th having the moon transit Aquarius. Now, this can be a deeply responsible energy. You also may feel that you have too much on your plate. It is very, it's in the house of Saturn at the moment, and we are having it go retrograde on the 23rd, which after this part, I do have the dates. This is base chakra and crown chakra, so keep your fluids up, avoid caffeine, eat food groups to balance your nervous system for stress, and get very balanced, but don't take over other people's jobs, especially at work. If you need to articulate things, do it in a calm, orderly manner, or step away from the vibration to get grounded. This could be a very social time during, but nevertheless, we all experience things very differently, but those are the chakras. Now, from the 5th to the 6th, if you have children or things going on around family and home or a house move, yes, we may be from a higher octane manifesting these things in. We also may feel stressed or emotional if we're having to buy new white goods. So if that's coming up, I feel more a lot of you will be really manifesting good things in. But if you are feeling lack mentality, get the crown chakra balanced again and the third eye, change and shift the perspective, and we can change the manifestation. From the 7th to the 9th, we have the moon transiting the house of Aries. This is very Mars in nature. All of us collectively have Mars in Aries, and yours is hitting your 5th house, which is creativity. It's inner child, it's wounds, it's belief in thyself, and it's really digging deep. It's also, what do you pour your energy into? Try not to take those things personal. It's a temporary kind of transit. If anything comes up, just know that yes, the moon is transiting Aries. Be in awareness of. It's almost like the warning on the wall. These can be some testing days. If you really move beyond such, you could be really liberating yourself, and it's really healthy at the fact that we do have Jupiter in the house of Pisces, because you can really be getting a balance between expansion and life and tribe. It's even what steps directly you would need to take to make those hopes and dreams come true in your daily routine, really fine-tuning things. From the 10th through to the 12th, we have the moon transiting Taurus. This can be a very positive time, especially because we're having the new moon on the 11th. If you're wanting to turn over a new leaf, treat yourself, change your diet, change your health and well-being. It can be your appearance, whatever that is. It can even be internal belief systems that we have. 6th house is the house of hidden enemies. It can be your work, your daily routine, how you're showing up, healthy boundaries. If you've really been plodding along at that to make those things happen, being a mover shaker, this can be really good. You can feel very vital, very successful, and very positive. If you haven't, that's not bad. This is an opportunity to turn over that new leaf. That's why I say diarying is very good. It shows you where the issue is, and then once we know, it's how to address it. From the afternoon of the 12th, we have the moon in the house of Gemini all the way through to the 14th of May. This is a time to be careful of our communication with our connections. It's also in your romance zone. Some of you may have emotions and memories linking back to loved ones. These themes could be playing out. You also could feel that you have a lot on your plate with everyone's expectations, with those around you. Your commitments could be very busy. Try and keep grounded, but this could be a very positive thing for many of you. From the 15th to the 17th, we have the moon transiting Cancer. Now, we do have Mars there, so this can be a little bit testing. This can be in the area of you wanting to be open with individuals, you trusting individuals, letting wounds go, deeper intimacy, finances, and commitment. It also can be linked to tax. Having a look at those areas, dealing with the circumstance, but being in awareness that we can be very spiritually thinking about our childhood. It can be inner child wounds and third eye. So balance those two areas and you'll handle the transit. From the afternoon of the 17th through to the 19th, we have the moon transiting Leo, which is heart chakra. For your zodiac sign, this will be very much almost like your first house. It's very 9th house in placement, and you guys are very much 9th house now. Expansion in a sense, and coming back to this house is really positive. It's really have faith in yourself, come from a place of heart, trust yourself. that you can grow and you can manifest anything that you're wanting to create. It's a very good time to clear the heart chakra. You could have a lot of false beliefs, and maybe you can feel very vital and strong. Good time to pay attention to heart health. Eating the green food groups, the pink food groups can assist with the balance of these areas. Now, without further ado, on to the important dates. If you do, again, want to see the good days and the bad days, let's have a quick look. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, this is your bi-monthly energy update astrologically. Now, I am going to mention the tedious energies of where the placements are. Okay, we do have the new moon occurring on the 11th in the house of Taurus. The sun also currently is in Taurus and it will enter Gemini on the 20th. Mercury is in the house of Taurus and it will be entering the house of Gemini on the 9th and going into shadow retrograde by mid-month. Mars also is in the house of Cancer until June the 11th. So bear that in mind when it comes to your emotions. We're also going to be having Venus in Taurus up until the 9th, where it will transit into the house of Gemini. That can be where we are going to be super busy, but we will need this flexibility to be playful and to be ourselves and not be controlling. We're also towards mid-month 26 going to be having the total lunar eclipse in the house of Sagittarius. Now, the Astrology Big Boss states is the place where you need to be mindful of retrogrades and major transits. Jupiter will be entering the house of Pisces on the 13th of May 2021, and it can give you themes of what's going to happen in 2022. So it's a very important time to be having a look at those areas. Now, we will start feeling Saturn going into shadow by about the 15th, but you can potentially feel it earlier. It is occurring on the 23rd of May and it will go direct of the 1st. Pluto is also in retrograde in the house of Capricorn until the 6th of October. We also have, last but not least, Mercury in Gemini going into shadow by mid-month in the house of Gemini. So a lot of action, a lot of movement, some frustration, pre-warned, forearmed. Now, for your astrology best boss dates, we do have the 9th. Allow love to be fluid and be playful. On the 11th, deep clearing of emotions through actions and relations and relationships. On the 13th, make your dreams come true with beautiful aspects to Neptune. On the 1st to the 15th, get your resumes out and hold on to your hats as Mercury goes into shadow retrograde. Now, these are the astrology hard boss dates, but they're also very quickly some things to be very mindful of during this month and beyond. With Mars in Cancer, we can be guided to be quite emotional, and if we're suppressing things, we can be more upset and aggressive in nature. We also, with Mercury going retrograde, can have some confusion and need to slow down, especially when traveling. Cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and breathe. Now, the 2nd of May, caution with speech and travel, but be on the ball. On May the 11th, emotions and triggers can get the best of us, so try to avoid control. With Pluto and Capricorn retrograde until the 6th, we can feel a little bit nervous when it does come to endings and be coming to term with those things. Use it as a quality system. On the 14th, plan ahead, double check and read all your documents, keep your receipts as Mercury in the house of Gemini goes into shadow retrograde. Yes, we do have additional updates during the week, which is the Psychic Love Updates, live every Friday, Western Australian time. Now, here is the website should you wish to have a booking. Very easy to navigate through. The link is directly below. There is also an informative video to give you instructions of how to use the website. Again, if you do have any issues, inbox me and I can help you navigate through. We do have various readings, which is video, Skype, email, and any other real areas that you wish to have. Just inbox me as per request, as well as emergency bookings. Very separately, I do update you via the website, so if you do sub the website, you get notifications as to specials. See you live on Friday for the Twin Flame update, Western Australian time. For America, it will be Thursday PM. Take care.